All right, people. Today we have Norman here again, and we're going to be talking about how to navigate your first 30 days
Right.
at your new tech sales job as a first time,
Yeah.
first time that you're working in tech sales, and what are some of the biggest challenges and what to do about it. Norman, how are you doing today?
I'm doing right. I'm really excited to talk about this. This is every single rep who lands a job in tech sales has to face this exact same challenge.
I think like if we were to go out there and just unpack this a little bit before we really dive into the details,
Yeah.
I would hear this actually from experienced tech sales reps, even at the management level, like every single time they go from one company to another,
Mhm.
like they also face very similar challenges of being able to navigate like a new set of like maybe software, people, culture,
Yeah.
uh, managing expectations, targets, quotas, and all that. So let's just dive right into it. Like, uh, first things first is just off the top of your head, what are a list of some of the top items,
Yeah.
some of the top items that would be the biggest challenges?
Yeah. So there's going to be three big categories of challenges you're going to face, and really every single rep faces, whether they're coming from another tech company into this one or they're coming with zero experience into a tech company for the first time. So it's going to be company pace, right? And I'll describe what that means in a second. It's going to be culture, and then it's going to be skill set or messaging. Okay. So, for example, skill set messaging. If I'm a rep coming from a different company, I have messaging and techniques that worked really well in my previous company. Maybe I was extremely strong at writing good emails that would get these buyers, CEOs, vice presidents, etc., to want to meet with my company. And that was the best way to communicate with my buyers. And it was the best way for me to be efficient in my job, meaning getting more meetings with potential buyers in the door. But now I moved to a new company, and the new company really focuses on making calls and being great at initial conversations over the phone. So I have to quickly adapt into the best practices, the types of skill set and pace of that new company, what they're doing, what their best practices are, what their messaging is, and then take that and try to bring in my own experience to take that base level of what works and make it even better. But I have to adapt from what I'm already used to. So you can never go into an organization saying, I have the silver bullet. I know exactly how to get all of these meetings and how to be the most productive. You have to go into it knowing I have a strong foundation. I'm going to learn for what is best practices at this company. And then I'm going to apply myself to those best practices. And so, funny enough, other SDRs, folks who are in tech sales right now in other companies, they have a disadvantage because oftentimes they became really, really good in a different company at a different pace with different messaging. And they try to apply the same thing with maybe some arrogance at a new company and they fail. Right. Whereas candidates that come through our program are trained in the fundamentals and all the different types of messaging that are out there, from email to cold call, etc. And they can bring a learner's mindset to any new company that they join, right? So that's the pace that you have to deal and adapt with when you join a new company. Then there's going to actually be culture, right? So culture is the folks that you're working with. And so challenges that are really common here is you are used to working at a specific type of communication with your manager or with your colleagues. Sometimes that may be an SDR, someone in the tech sales world already is used to having meetings every single day to talk about progress. And then they join a new company and those meetings are once a week. So they don't really get that accountability that they used to, and they have to adapt, right, in the same way. So we have a blueprint here for everyone that we train for these roles. And it's in your first 30 days, it's on you as the candidate who just landed the role to set up a strategy where you are engaging all of your stakeholders, your manager, your colleagues, folks who are account executives, so they've been promoted from your role, and to set up a weekly cadence where you're meeting with them and learning from them. So you're getting and asking them questions about the buyer, about pace, right? Best practices, messaging, etc. And you're actively asking for accountability. How are you doing? What could you do better? And then you're taking that and putting it into practice, right? So most people don't do that. Most people just kind of get hired. The culture is much different than they expected, and they all just kind of flounder for a bit, and then they might actually be let go because they're not performing. Right? You're
I
going to be different. You're going to have a template. You're going to walk into your first 30 days with a strategy for building a relationship with your entire team, from your management to people at your level to folks who have been promoted. And you're going to be building that relationship and getting their feedback to do better and stay employed.
I think this is actually why our members, even though that they're transitioning into tech sales for the first time, has the longevity that they're having.
Right.
Just because that a lot of salespeople, you'll take a look at, there's I don't think there's too many other roles beyond sales where you have that many like resumes look that job hopping, is because a lot of sales managers are unfortunately very bad. I think that was one of the first things my VP told me when I started my sale job in tech sales, which was like, our sales training program here is legit. And I was like, yeah, I can feel that. And he's like, our sales management program here is shit. He's like, so you gotta go out there and help manage your managers. Like, I gotta go manage my managers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go ahead and make it through the week right now. How am I supposed to do that? So this is like, I think everybody, a lot of people, the just getting the job is difficult enough, but too many people don't have a plan to move up. So
Yeah.
going into this not only helps members like navigate the first 30 days for success, but also they're
Right.
setting up their entire career at that company for success too. Um, was this, I mean, I've heard stories, but I mean, was this something that you decided to come up with? Because
Right.
I've heard from some of my friends that worked at Google where they basically told me the honest answer, where it's like, if you got a good team leader, like, yeah, it's going to be a good time. But if you didn't, I mean, it's just
Exactly. Exactly. I think there's decades of experience that we have of these hit and misses. And so when you come through a program like Elevate, we are focused entirely on setting you up for success. So the idea being is that even if you join a company that doesn't already have a really mature management or culture there and already understands, giving feedback, building relationships with the team, that you have a playbook to build that for yourself, right? And that playbook is just like how we had talking before earlier about teachers who sell internally, right, to stakeholders, their principals, their staff, et cetera. If you've been in any sort of role where in order to get your idea across, you had to build momentum by working with others at your level and managers, et cetera. It's the same sort of mindset. You enter this role, and in your first 30 days, you are proactively trying to build relationships and creating a schedule of time where you are going to be engaging with those relationships, your manager, your account executive, et cetera, every Tuesday, every other Wednesday, whatever that schedule is, you set it. You ask for that time to meet with them, to get feedback on your progress, to get feedback on your strategies, right? To get feedback on some of the challenges you're having. You make that ask in the first 30 days. So even if they don't already have it when you walk in the door, it's okay because you're building it. And that's you selling internally, right? It's also showing your tech sales skill. So just like Rich is saying, that's not only going to set you up for success in your first, what we call the ramp period, the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it's going to set you up for your entire career.
Do you know of any other program that does this?
Absolutely not. Most programs will give you, here's how to execute a skill. Here's how to make a cold call in tech sales. Here's a test that tells us you know how to do it, multiple choice. Okay, good luck, get out there, right? A program like Elevate, we're not only going to provide the skill and test you, we're also going to hold you accountable. So we are going to have instructors and mentors that challenge you on your ability to do that skill well and give you scenarios like your first 30 days at a team and challenge you to start building out that playbook so that you actually stay employed and you build a really successful career. Not that you just get the job and then you get let go within 30 days.
That's exactly what's going to happen. even for people that don't have Elevate.
Yep.
Well, the sex, that's unfortunately. Okay. I mean, and this isn't like a knock on, I don't think this is a knock on the other programs, but I would say across the board in various jobs, across various industries, there is very little onboarding support. It's kind of like, congratulations, you got XYZ job.
Yeah.
Go crush. Like this is like true for I think marketing and across many other roles that also exist in tech. Um with that said, I mean, uh, how much can people expect to rely on Elevate
Right.
post? Like, I land a job with you guys, and is that pretty much it? Or like, what happens if I do end up at a company where I'm trying to go ahead and
Yeah.
implement these processes, but I have a manager that's unfortunately one of those bad sales managers where he or she's not willing to play ball. What's my recourse there?
So once you're an alumni at Elevate, means you graduated or you found placement, you've got your job. It's your first win on the journey, but the journey isn't over. So you're an alumni here for life. You're part of the community for life. You're going to be part of the community communications for life. You're going to have it as you move into an alumni role and as you are placed, you're going to have an extension of our staff, our team that will be available to you for one-on-ones, either weekly or monthly, however you'd like to set them. And if you can set them, and again, build out that playbook of creating these routines where you're meeting with mentors from Elevate, your internal team, your managers, etc. What that does is it creates this sort of support system where we can proactively give you tips and techniques to be successful in your role and to be successful in your team. But we can also have an early warning system if things aren't going well and you want to move out to a new company or to a new role internally, and you want to have conversations about how you present yourself for a promotion or present yourself for a new company, right? Those sorts of relationships you have and keep with Elevate is really important because what we offer every single month for alumni in our program and for students who are looking for a role, we attempt to have a monthly capstone event where we have employers who are looking for candidates show up and interview the candidates that we send them over. One day a month, every single month, we'll have 8, 10, 12 employers who are in a room ready to interview Elevate alumni. So again, maintain that relationship, make it part of who you are, building relationships and maintaining relationships with Elevate, with your internal team, etc. And so we can help you grow up in the company you're at, or if things aren't working well, we can do a warning system and get you in front of new employers.
I think that's also huge because not only do they have that ongoing support, I think a lot of times the reason why people in tech sales end up at a job that they don't find meaningful is because they had to take a job at some company because they didn't have another option. So
Absolutely.
if you have multiple options, you can go ahead and actually choose which is the best environment for you because you could take one person here. What we've seen is take one person, put them in one company and they could thrive, but you could take another person and put them in the same company with the same manager and not do
Right.
very well. But if you rotate that individual out, put them somewhere else. So it's not just so much of like the bad company, but sometimes it's just the wrong fit. Which if you don't have
Remember,
options and you don't have support, I mean you don't have the choice to go out there and determine the right fit for
yeah,
you. So if
it
you have
goes back to what we said in the beginning, right? It's pace, it's culture, right? It's not necessarily that what the career you've engaged in is the wrong fit for at all. No, it's every company is different and you have to find the right company for you. So you will land in roles, and even regardless of the work that you've done and been able to, which just wasn't the right fit, like Rich is sharing. But if you maintain a relationship with Elevate, right, or any program you're a part of, should be able to transition to you into the right fit.
There we go. If you're thinking about making a transition into tech sales, or if you're already in tech sales and you're just struggling right now landing your next tech sales job, by all means, reach out to us. We would love to go ahead and have a chat with you and see how it is that we can help.
So
Norman, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. We'll see you next time.
see you next time.